everyone. Welcome to Eden Eye Tarot, where we illuminate your stars and your cards. My name is Micah. I will be your astrologer and your tarot reader for today. Just to kind of get into a little bit of housekeeping before we jump into the solar eclipse reading. Just kind of like this will just be serve as like a general what to know about the eclipse. All of the tarot scopes that I do about this eclipse will be in their own separate video that will come out with this video on the eclipse day. And so there won't actually be like the predictions for the 12 signs in this video. We're just talking about the eclipse on its own and what to expect as far as energetics. But before we get into all of that, welcome to the channel. I am back, hopefully more consistently. Third time's the charm, fingers crossed. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Libra season and that you are doing well during this eclipse season as well. If you wouldn't mind giving me a like, a share, a subscribe, it would really help the channel grow. I am trying to get this channel to 1,000 subscribers by March 10th, 2025. I think we can do it, but I need your help. If you could like, share, subscribe, comment, even, it would help me immensely. And it would be like a free birthday present to me in advance. And that would make you like the best birthday giver, best birthday gift giver ever. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this eclipse. Okay, so we have the solar eclipse in Libra. So, first of all, this is a solar eclipse, and so it's going to be focusing in on new beginnings. This is, of course, a new moon that we have with this solar eclipse. That's what makes a solar eclipse is it's a new moon. And so we're focusing in on new beginnings, things that maybe are not as clear to us because we're at the beginning of a new cycle. But because it's in Libra, we're focusing in on relationships, what is built to last, not just with relationships with people, but what are our relationships with our environment, the things around us is how I really interpret it. Libra is a air sign, and so it's not just about the relationship and the connection that you have with others, but also about your environment, the things that take both tangible and non-tangible form. And so what's the energetic environment? What is your relationship to the environment, energetic environment that you're around? Especially because when we look at Libra, we really want to pay attention to what Saturn is doing. Saturn is not in Libra right now, but Saturn is definitely finds its joy in the sign of Libra. And so being in Libra season is where Saturn kind of thrives and really does its thing. Saturn's in Pisces right now, which is focusing in on themes of making the dream real, diving into the mysticism, yes, but it's bringing up the question of, are you diving in too deep that you're trying to escape? Are you diving in just enough so that you can really find that divine inspiration and put some sort of structure together to be able to make the dream real? And so when we're looking at Libra, we're looking at what dreams are meant to actually be of use and to last. What are your dreams in general? Really getting clarification on that. Which ones do you want to pursue? Which ones do you not? Libra is also about weighing things. And I think it's so funny that a lot of people say that Libra as a sign or a representative of Libra, whether you be a Libra rising, sun, or moon, are indecisive. And I don't think it's that at all. I think it's more that Libra looks at all of the possible outcomes of each situation and they weigh it against each other with what they would like the outcome to be, which one gets them closest to their preferred goal. And so it's more strategic when we're looking at Libra. And so with it being sun in Libra, where the sun actually is not having the best time. We see Saturn really being able to come through in Libra season, through the sign of Pisces. And so we're seeing big changes in relationships, big decisions in relationships. So I just want to focus in on here where Venus is at. Venus is the ruler of this actual eclipse. We have, of course, the energy of Libra shining through for this eclipse, but also I do want to remind everybody that while the solar eclipse is about new beginnings, this is a South Node eclipse. And so the South Node is going to be about the things that we need to let go of. Because we've already kind of lived through those things, so to speak, and we're comfortable in those things. And so a lot of this can be, yes, you're coming into new relationships, or you're creating a new relationship with your environment, new relationship with people, new relationship with your resources and your inspiration and your thoughts and your creative process. But it can also be what just is not working in, cleaning house, so to speak, so that those new things can really be the focus, and you can hone in on how those things can be put together and be put to use, so that they can create that sturdy foundation, that sturdy house, whether it be a relationship or better financial security, or even, a better kind of sense of how to make, something very creative, very practical, logical, how to work better with others and more efficient. How do you do that? And so you have to kind of clean out the junk part of everything before you are able to get into all of the new stuff and really appreciate it for what it is. So we have Venus and Scorpio. Venus and Scorpio is not Venus's favorite place, ironically, also. The sun is not having a great time in Libra, but Venus is also not having the best time in Scorpio. But there are some really nice things that we do get when Venus is in Scorpio. Venus and Scorpio can create this intense energy, and I really think it creates an intense focus on relationships, on Venus things. And so it can bring in a lot of transformation when it comes to relationship, a lot of changes. Changes aren't, inherently good or bad. It's just change. And when we see Venus in Scorpio, we're seeing change come through because of possibly cluing into maybe things that are a bit more unsaid in our relationships, or things that are underneath the surface. Really getting curious about why something is or is not working. Taking, like, Scorpio energy gives me like the energy of like kind of like, those in those like action movies. I don't know what specific action movie this came from, but they're like that stereotypical action scene where you have the spy, like, trying to turn off the bomb and he's clipping wires. That's what Scorpio energy gives to me. It's that kind of energy. It's very intense, but it's about being able to have a high level of understanding by going underneath, and possibly in a little bit dangerous situations, spicy situations. And really getting into, like, I guess, the more scary parts of ourselves, or a situation, and facing those things and facing our fears to be able to come out on the other side better, is going to be, I think, the best part of the Scorpio energy. Of course, we can get into like the paranoia, the obsessiveness, the jealousy, the manipulation, that comes with Scorpio energy, and that can definitely show through when Venus is in Scorpio as well. Is, becoming all too consumed with another person or another relationship, or just really, especially with Saturn in Libra, it can be, going to extremes in our relationships. And we already have Mars in Cancer, where we see a lot of smothering going on in our relationships. Mars is definitely squaring up with the sun's general energy of being in Libra. But when we have this eclipse, we're seeing that square come into perfection. It's not there quite yet, but it is something that, like, just to note. And so when we see Venus in Scorpio, on the best side, we can see a huge transformation by taking time to listen, to get curious, and to kind of take things apart in our relationships, understand why they're not working, reflect on it, and then put it all back together and have something possibly completely new because we took the time to reorganize and really work through the things that might not have been very comfortable but needed to be talked about. And that really opens up the gate for open honesty, a lot of vulnerability. And vulnerability is the greatest form of intimacy. It is like with Scorpio, it isn't always about sex per se. For intimacy, it can be. Things can definitely get steamy, but I think the best intimacy is just honesty with our relationships. And I think that's something that Venus and Scorpio is really bringing to this eclipse, especially because we have Mercury, the sign of communication, and Lilith conjunct right here. We have Mercury in Libra at 11, at an 11, and Lilith at a 10. So Lilith takes on more of the energy of Mars and Pluto together. So it's perfect for Scorpio energy. And so again, it's really saying that there are some sort of conversations happening about what's not working, about some sort of like possible resentment in relationships that needs to be discussed and addressed, and hopefully transformed and worked on with the other person, or if it's more of an internal thing, working and bringing acceptance to yourself, self acceptance, and really healing those things. I think it's a bit more reflective when we're talking about it just being a more of an internal thing, but it can also be reflective when we're talking about dealing with other people in our environment too. But that has a lot to do with, I think, more just like the willingness to question and deconstruct. Reflection is going to be part of that. So, but we have this eclipse happening at a 10, which has a lot to do with responsibility, authority figures. So there can be some spicy conversations when it comes to like bosses. 10 is associated with the 10th house, or Capricorn, which is associated with the mother. And so there can be kind of these kind of situations that are happening where these very spicy back and forths are happening with mother like authority figures, or like women authority figures as well. And what we want to see for in the future, whether it be like a woman saying, hey, I would really like to see this for you in the future. It's interesting because we'll see at the end of October. I'm hoping to get a video out about the astrology of October. So, and I haven't really decided on how I'm going to go about that. If I'm going to put it all in one video or just split it up, like by week. So let me know. By the time this video comes out, I will probably have like decided what I'm going to do for this month. But let me know what you guys would rather me do for November. If you would like everything just kind of split up week by week, or if you would rather just have one big video of November astrology or monthly astrology overviews. But yeah, so we are looking at like Capricorn energy, but Mercury is at an 11, and so it's talking about the vision that we have for our relationships. Funny enough, also, we have Venus in Scorpio also at an 11, which is talking about transformation of a dream, transformation of a goal. While Mercury is in Libra at an 11, it's transformation of our relationships. And so if you put all that together with the ruler of this eclipse, we're saying where do we want to go with our relationships, and what kind of transformation and change and honesty is it going to take to be able to either break through and break out of limiting situations that maybe are holding us back in our relationships, or is it better, especially with Lilith being involved? I cannot stress enough that a lot of this eclipse is about, and is this relationship meant to last, or am I better off on my own? Am I better off just kind of not settling? Or am I settling? And if so, and if I realize that I am settling, is it just better to go? And I think a lot of this eclipse is about belief. It's about like, what do you believe? Um, we have Jupiter at a 21 in Gemini. And so this eclipse is making trines to Jupiter as well. And so a lot of this can be about a lot of what we manifest is like, has to do with our beliefs. And I think with this eclipse, a lot of our beliefs about relationships are changing as well, which cause that kind of ripple effect of, am I better off on my own, which is the north node and what we really want to go towards. Do we want to just create something new for ourselves that we can really say, I created this, I made this structure, I am pioneering this, rather than doing it with the we? Is the we worse than me? Can you do it better on your own? It's a very healing aspect. Also, I like the fact that we have Chiron that's actually directly making a sextile to Jupiter, and so it can be very healing to get out of certain relationships, whether it's with substances, with jobs, with certain careers. Doing certain career changes can also come up. I think with this eclipse in particular, since it's at a 10. And it has a lot of Capricorn, Aquarius kind of energy woven into it. It can really spotlight what makes you special. With Aries, it's a lot about the me part of it, of things. But with having that kind of 11th degree with Mercury and Venus, it's like, what am I valuing? What do I value about myself? And how am I expressing that to other people to value me because of what I think about myself? What do I believe about myself? What am I saying about myself? Which is all that Jupiter in Gemini. That's making that sextile to Chiron and Aries as well. And so I think it's very healing. There are a lot of different aspects of everything that's happening like around this eclipse, but I do want to kind of keep it very focused to this particular eclipse in general. And so with that being said, that's all I have. I laugh and say that's all I have because I think I gave actually quite a bit, but that is actually all I have for for this eclipse. I've got to get better at like closing out like my thoughts about these eclipses, but I guess it's all part of being back on the channel and talking to you guys. But let me know how you are doing with this eclipse, and those tarot scopes will be out with this video. And so let me know how you guys are faring, if you're seeing some of the effects of the eclipse come up already. But with that, I will talk to you guys in the next one.